Imagine being so shit, so rubbish, so god-awful, that game developers would rather have customers pirate their games than buy them from your store. If you are G2A.com, you don't have to imagine that because you, G2A, are shit. You've always been shit, you continue to be shit, and you will be shit for many years to come, I'm sure, you shitters. In yet another reminder that G2A is trash, a number of indie developers have urged their customers to pirate their games rather than buy them via G2A if they have no intention of buying the game from an official source. Now, obviously, these developers would rather you buy the games from an official source like Steam, but if you're not gonna do that, literally pirating the game is better in their eyes than purchasing a key via G2A. G2A, if you haven't heard of it before, is a reseller of keys for games. People can sell unlocks for a number of games across all of the major storefronts, from Steam to Origin to Good Old Games, often at significant discounts, but there's a problem. There's a lot of fraud counts.
Wait, what were the prices here? $9 for The Witcher? 96 cents for Witcher 2? Holy shit. Yeah, of course people are buying this.
There's a problem. There's a lot of fraud on G2A. A lot of scams, a lot of stolen keys being sold, a lot of credit card problems. Historically, what has happened is that people have used stolen credit cards to buy keys for games, sell them on G2A, and then when the credit card is eventually reported stolen, the money for the initially purchased key has to be refunded, which comes out of the developer's pocket, including the chargeback fee for the defrauded credit card. So not only has a copy of the game been sold in such a way that the indie developer gets nothing, it's sold in such a way that the indie developer has to pay extra because they're on the hook for someone else's crime. And I focus on indie developers here especially because, you know, a big company like Electronic Arts could take the hit. Not that that means you should defraud them, but they can afford it much more than a small indie studio that quite practically needs every dollar they can get for their games. They simply...
I never felt bad for these, like, you know, like really big studios that are making these games and then people pirate them or buy them off of G2A, because they are all full of microtransactions anyway. So it's like, you want to fuck me? Well, fuck you too, right? It's not a big deal. But, you know, this is with like the smaller developers, that's more of an issue.
Cannot afford what a company like G2A does to them. Which is why we're now in the ludicrous situation of seeing developers ask their audience to pirate the games rather than use G2A. Because at least in that situation, they simply don't get money for the game being played. They don't have to pay extra out of their own pocket for a sale they see no money from. G2A doesn't effectively police its own store. It doesn't seem interested in that. It's much more comfortable just sitting back and taking money off of fraud. They're just...
Well, how does that even... How is this even how does this even exist?
That's what I'm saying. Why I mean... Like, surely to God, somebody sued them.
Yeah, I mean, how did these guys get through this? It's a loophole? You become... what is this here? Like, I'm not... It's a loophole? I don't know about that, man. Let's see, companies based off of Hong Kong. So yeah, I don't know. This is a marketplace. They don't sell. They just offer a place to sell yourself. Well, yeah, but they shut down Silk Road, and that was a marketplace too. I mean, like...
Whoa.
Well, didn't they?
Relax.
I mean, like, that's another example. Like, just because it's... You can't use that example of it being a marketplace. Like, that's so dumb. Let's see. So people have stolen things, probably the same thing, right? It's not the same thing, but it's the idea of there. Just because you're, we're only selling it. That's not like plausible deniability, and that doesn't remove them. Like, that doesn't remove the responsibility that they have, especially whenever it's happening all the time. Let's see, I checked G2A didn't sell assassinations. Well, I mean, I understand this is kind of hard for people to understand, but there's actually an idea of an abstract analogy where people can, like, compare two things that aren't necessarily the same and see the same similar thing that comes together with them, right? It's an abstract analogy. Like, if you can't see that, I don't really know what to say. Okay, watch Kevin Jordan video? Yeah, you've said that like 40 times, man. It's just like eBay. Okay, well, anyway, let me go back to here.
Making money off of fraud. This isn't the first time piracy has been presented as preferable to using a reseller like G2A, but it's come up again because No More Robots' Mike Rose pointed out that G2A has taken sponsored ads out on Google so they show up in search results, sometimes even before the official websites for game developers or their games. Even worse, when Mike Rose tried to turn the ads off, he simply couldn't. Google wouldn't allow him to.
Dude.
In response to this, developer Rage Squid simply outright said, please torrent our games instead of buying them on G2A. Vlamdias Remy Ismail then joined in, adding, if you can't afford or don't want to buy our games full price, please pirate them rather than buying them from a key reseller. These sites cost us so much potential dev time in customer service, investigating fake key requests, figuring out credit card chargebacks, and more. G2A insists it's just the middle person in all of this and therefore cannot be held responsible. It's paid some lip service to making things better, and in 2017 made it so that resellers would have to share their names and addresses, but if they're fraudsters, nothing's stopping them from faking that. G2A isn't just shady. I mean, it is shady, obviously it's shady, but it isn't just shady, it is outright damaging. And if you support indie game development, you should absolutely not support G2A. And if you're a viewer of this channel, I assume you do because, you know, we're so highly critical of the so-called AAA video game industry, with many good reasons, I might add. Just watch yesterday's video about addiction. For one example as to why big-budget mainstream games are a mess, and the alternative to all that corporate bollocks is smaller games, independently developed games made outside of the AAA machine. I'm not here to tell you what to buy, of course. I'm not going to say you owe it to the world to purchase independent video games, but if you do see one you like the look of, either purchase it correctly, go through official channels, don't use these slimy fucking resellers, or at the very least, if you cannot afford it, but are dead set on playing it anyway, just do what these developers are asking and bloody pirate the thing if you...
I don't know. Do you think there's anything they can really do about that? I mean, because they're basically operating a black market. I mean, that's pretty much what this is. It's a black market, and, like, how do you really deal with that? I don't know. I mean, I feel like don't waste Wait, what do you mean by that? Thing is, G2A is so fucking expensive. Well, everything's more expensive than stealing it, which is what most people do. Government can, but not people. Yeah, I mean, black market as much as eBay is? I mean, not really, because, like, it's much easier to tell, like, let's say on eBay, right? If somebody's selling weed or somebody's selling crack on eBay, it's very easy to say that this is, like, an illegal substance. But, like, with G2A, it's much more difficult for you to understand and be able to differentiate between something being illegal and not illegal. Or, sorry, obtained through illegal means versus not obtained through illegal means. Right? Those are two completely different things. Weed is legal? Well, it is in a lot of places, man. Why don't you buy a single-player game? I don't understand why anybody plays those anyway. But the point is that, like, I don't know. I feel like on eBay it's a lot harder to, or it's a lot easier to figure out if somebody's trying to sell something that's, like, contraband, basically, like illegal. Let's see, you did? Wait, what do you mean? What's this? Oh, anyway, like, the point that I'm making here, because, yeah, anyway. Well, yeah, I'm not a big single-player game person. Like, I've already said that before. But the point that I'm making here is that, obviously, it's easier for eBay to monitor and prevent things from being sold on their website that are contraband, because by the very nature of what the object is, it's contraband. But this is different because it's by the nature in which the object was obtained makes it contraband versus not contraband, which makes it more difficult and not the same paradigm as eBay. Yeah, they don't care Asmongold, they're in China? Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's actually a good point. Like, if they're in China, what the fuck are you even going to do about it?
There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, look, dude, if it's a loophole, it's a loophole. You can't get rid of loopholes.
Well, you try to, though. I mean, you don't know, but you try to. It's not just because you have a loophole, you just leave it in forever. You figure out a way around it to close it. That's the idea, is you're supposed to close the loopholes.
There are 0 ways of getting rid of loopholes. That's why G2A still exists.
I don't know. I mean, like, people sell stolen shit on eBay all the time. it's not. Yes, but it's easier to tell if it's stolen on eBay versus stolen a stolen key. I mean, it's not hard to understand. Fuck Blizzard, but yeah, I mean, come on, such a defeatist. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I think they'll probably just have to wait for like international law to catch up, because like you're right, like other countries can just do all kinds of shit and like steal people's copyrights and like their intellectual property, and there's nothing they can do about it really, because they're in another country, and so it's like, what are you even gonna do? Like, it happens all the time.
Why are they why are you question marking? G2A has been it's been a fucking meme. It's been a problem for years, like fucking 5 years, and people have known it's shit. People know that, and it's still going. What do you mean? You guys are crazy. You guys are nuts. I understand how Asmon feels. You guys are fucking stupid.
I'm thinking about blacklisting the question marks, actually, because they're used all the time now, and I feel like once somebody starts doing it, then everybody starts doing it, and I'm thinking about us just blacklisting it. Because I think it just kind of ruins the stream and ruins discussions, because nobody can talk about things. It's just like the question marks and that's it. And I don't know. I feel like it makes the stream worse. And that's always basically how I make every decision, right? Does this make the stream worse or not? I think the question marks are getting to the point where they just make the stream worse. I mean, that's basically it. Ban everything? Well, not everything, just the stupid things. There's a lot of stupid things, though, so some people think it's ban everything. Let me look at the rest of these, okay?
You must. In exchange for their work on the game, you owe them that much at the bloody least. At the least. And if you can afford it, please do buy it. Please. As for G2A, that shouldn't even fucking be around. I would lose no sleep whatsoever if they went out of business 5 minutes ago. But unfortunately, they remain a powerful and influential entity in the game industry. The discounts offered are so deep, and the company itself is so avoidant of discussion, public discussion about the shady bullshit, that many people continue to use it, often unaware that the keys for the games they're buying may very well have been fraudulently obtained. But if you see someone selling a key to a game at a massive discount, you should probably ask yourself where the saving was made that they could offer it to you for that price. But it's like they...
Twitch should ban streamers with the G2A logo on their stream.
Well, that might be overstepping their bound. I don't know. That's a little...
If I was Twitch, I'd ban them. I'd ban them.
I'm sure there are some legitimate resellers, right? Or sellers on G2A.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there are some people that sell things legitimately everywhere. But like, if you're operating a black market with basically that has a overall negative impact on these companies, and then people are using Twitch as a vehicle to advertise that black market that's negatively affecting companies that are involved with the website because it's a streaming website for video games, I don't know. I feel like it's it's common sense. I mean, am I wrong about that? Big True. Yeah, I mean, you're advertising. Well, yeah, but like if you're advertising for smoking like crack or something, they're gonna ban you for that too, like a place to sell crack. I mean, so it's generally things that they feel like are harmful. And I think that G2A is probably harmful to the gaming industry, and they probably should do something about it. That seems like the smart idea, is that, yeah, Twitch probably should ban them for doing it. I think G2A is not the only reseller, though. Well, yeah, obviously they would have to do more than one. But the thing is, like, G2A should refund the fee. Okay, listen, they can't advertise porn, but a black market is fine. Yeah, I mean, like, let's say somebody's advertising porn or something like that. Obviously, that's bad, too. So, I'm gonna say that it's completely fine. You're way off base on this issue. How am I off base? Cliff, how am I off base?
Yeah, come on, Cliff. You better explain your position,
yeah,
bitch.
Let's see. How am I off base? Question zone. Yeah, mods, can we just make it to where, like, if somebody does the question marks, it just auto times them out? Yeah, just time out anybody doing question marks from now on, and we'll make it a blacklist thing later on, or like set it up with the bot. It's just too much. Bring me in Discord.
Yeah, right. Why? So you can say the N-word?
No, he won't say the N-word. He won't say it.
Yes, he will.
No, he won't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm
you
sure.
really want this random person in Discord?
Sure. Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, give
Why
me a
not?
second.
Yeah, we'll bring him in. It'll be fine. There's so chat. No, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it, guys. We haven't had this happen for a while, and I think that it's time. I would love to do viewer call-ins. I want to make sure everybody knows that. I love the idea. You're subbing your channel on Discord right now. Can you join McConnell's Discord? Because that's the Discord that we're in right now.
No, don't say that.
Okay, all right. Let me get a time machine and go back 10 seconds, and I won't. Okay, well, you just message him, and McConnell will be able to sort it out. Okay, YouTube, not Twitch. Yeah. I'll buy G2A games with scumbag loot devs. Well, the thing is that, like, a lot of people, like, they are going to do that, sure. Okay, let's see here. Join the admin channel. Yeah, no, we're going this way, and I don't know. Like, I'm actually not really even sure what his point is. But I'll bring him in, and we'll see what he says. Okay, we're going to bring in an actual viewer. Okay, we haven't done this in a long fucking time. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I think that everything is going to be fine. So we're going to pull him out, and we'll see how this goes. Okay? Okay, how do you join Discord? No, we'll figure it out, man. Okay, yeah, Destiny debates, exactly. Okay, scripted content. I wish it actually was. Okay, N-word, here comes. It's not going to be N-word. Relax, dude. Listen, yo, how funny would it be if I did get suspended the day before the tournament? That'd be pretty bad. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like it really will. I mean, if he says something bad, we'll just
all right, for the first time. Okay. For the first time in a long time, Asmongold is going to debate one of his viewers right here, live on stream. Let's go.
First off, I won't TOS you, dude. I've been a sub for like 7 months.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I really do. I see you in chat pretty much all the time, and I really appreciate the support. Like, it's good. And I will, by the way, get to your guild app, and maybe join your pug as well. I know who you are.
Oh, shit, dude. Right now.
Yeah, I know you. Okay, so where are you coming from with the G2A stuff?
Okay. So the one thing that you're really missing is you're comparing this to like illegal drugs. They're not selling illegal games on G2A. They're selling the same games that everyone else is playing. They're just obtained with illegal means. It's like if someone was on eBay selling a bike that was stolen and someone's buying that bike that was stolen off of eBay. It's just a marketplace for these things.
Okay.
It's nearly impossible for these people to stop this from happening.
Well, here's an example, right? If like a pawn shop is known to be selling a lot of stolen items, right, and people find out that these are stolen items, my understanding is the pawn shop can get shut down or get in a lot of trouble for that. Am I wrong about that? If a pawn shop is
true.
Yeah, okay. So how's this any different?
Does the responsibility fall on the marketplace to investigate how they got every single thing?
Yes.
So would you assume that eBay has no illegally sold goods on it, or eBay would be getting in trouble for that?
Well, it's a matter of degree, right? How many people are selling things that are illegally stolen on eBay? Like, if it's happening on a regular basis to enough people, enough times, then yeah, eBay is responsible for that. They need to stop it from happening, absolutely.
I'm not saying G2A is good.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they're probably pieces of shit for doing this shit that they're doing. But I don't know how you stop them. Like, I mean, every business has problem with illegal stolen credit cards every day.
Oh, yeah.
So game devs aren't the only ones dealing with this. So why don't they just deal with the stolen credit card issue and don't blame the marketplace that's selling the illegal shit?
Well, they do need to do that. I mean, they obviously need to deal with the stolen, they do need to deal with the credit card issue fundamentally. Yes, that is the fundamental problem. But in the process of doing that, I don't think that they should stop people from, you know, or stop the government or some sort of governing body, or at least the population, from looking down on people that are actively profiting off of something that was obtained through fraudulent means, which this clearly was. And it's also like with eBay, I don't know how many, and I don't know this, right? I'm not going to make an assumption here, but eBay probably doesn't have the same impact on different industries as probably, what do you call it? As G2A does on the gaming industry in the same way, right? With fraudulent claims being charged back, etc. So I think that the way that G2A has an impact on the gaming industry and like the way that these indie devs are being impacted on it by it specifically does change things substantially, right? Because I do think that to a degree, even if you're doing the same thing, it matters how often you're doing it. It's one thing if, like, let's say you're selling 1,000 products and 2 or 3 of them are stolen. But if you're selling 1,000 products and 300 of them are stolen, then yeah, I think that you have a certain level of responsibility there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think streamers should be banned for advertising it and shit like that.
Why not?
I mean, I doubt that. Maybe at this point, if they were warned, then they. But I doubt that many
I'm not saying
streamers
they
who are
should be
approached with
retroactively
affiliate deals know that this was going on these sites. They probably just think it's a legitimate place to buy games, just like Steam is, right?
I mean, I feel like, yeah, you can use like an argument of ignorance, and I think that's sure, right? I mean, of course you could do that. And yeah, I mean,
I didn't know they were doing this. I had no idea until today.
I don't know. I mean, as a streamer, like I've talked about it before, and you know, like people have brought it up before because I've seen like other streamers and like, you know, people complain about it. So I did know about this, but in general, I would say that yeah, obviously it's not something that's super common, and I don't think they should be like, okay, well, you had a G2A ad on your stream, you know, 6 months ago. We're gonna ban you 6 months after the fact because of this thing that happened and us changing the rules now. I mean, that doesn't really seem fair to me at all. But I think that if they said from now on, we don't want people having these different advertisements from these websites that are key resellers, I would support that absolutely. Because I think the way that Twitch is, like, their responsibility and their relationship with developers, right, is not only the reason why Twitch exists in the first place, is to stream video games, is because the developers are making them, but also on top of that, I think it's just healthy for the entire industry and, like, the community to have a good relationship. And whenever you have influencers and content creators, I hate the fucking word influencers, but whenever you have influencers and content creators putting out, you know, these different basically ads for things that are directly damaging what allows them to make a living, I feel like you have a really big conflict of interest there, and you end up harming everybody involved.
Yeah, I agree fundamentally with you.
Yeah.
I just was off base on like the comparisons, the analogies that you were making. I thought you were comparing to illegal drugs and shit, and I didn't think that really made a lot of sense.
Well, I mean, they're both fundamentally illegal, right? So, like, there is an illegal action that would occur in each situation, right? So, just because, like, basically with the illegal drugs are illegal fundamentally. They're illegal by definition of them being, like, crack or cocaine. But in the same way that illegal drugs are illegal fundamentally, there are other things that could be illegal, just not directly, but like from a secondary way because they were stolen. So like you could have a bike that would have the same issue, right? Like if you have a stolen bike, then I think that would be the same problem. But yeah, obviously it's not the exact same, but what I'm saying is selling drugs and selling things that are stolen illegally, I would say are both bad. Are they equally bad? I don't know. I mean, that, you know, it just kind of, I think that's like a personal opinion, basically. But the idea is the same.
Yeah, we agree. You brainwashed me over the past 7 months watching your fucking stream. Okay, let me say one thing before I go.
Okay.
Okay, you're all fucking virgins. You have no one to spend money on. You have nowhere to go. You're watching Asmongold stream every day in the middle of the day. Now stop what you're fucking doing and Twitch Prime right now. Gift some subs to everyone.
All right, I moved him out.
Okay, dude. All right, you know what?
Okay, thanks, man.
Usually we don't have a disagreement that ends with somebody selling out for me, so I would consider that a pretty positive one, right? I mean, you know, this is our community, and people can agree and disagree, and it's fine, and they just talk about it, and nobody gets mad or insults each other, and everything is fine. See, I told you guys it would be fine. It's not a big deal. So everything went
And let this be a lesson to all you motherfuckers in chat that think you can step to the god of WoW himself, okay? The god of debating people, okay? If you're gonna come in Discord and try to argue with this guy, you better come correct, you little fucking idiot.
Well, I mean...
Your little nuts are gonna start quaking, buddy.
I don't know about that, but like all I'm saying is that I just feel like these websites are bad, okay? That's all it comes down to. Well, let me finish the video. It's almost done. Okay, press after. Did I have a? Oh, I had a frame drop here. Just give it a second. Tellycrab, thank you very much for the 5 get the community subs. I appreciate that very much, man. Thank you, dude. Okay, 1 second. Let me read the rest of these. Sorry, guys, I did miss out on a lot of this. Okay. F. Is it still effing? No, it should be fine now. Okay, 1 second. Let me look at the rest of these. My poor Panda, thank you guys for all the resubs. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. G2A is one way for the consumer to say fuck you to the developer who puts out shit over an overpriced game. You're right. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people pirate games and they say fuck you, whoever it is. I'm not paying money for your game. I think it's very, very common, actually. Yeah, 100%, dude. Not that it's a good thing, but it definitely happens. What realm do you play on? Kel'Thuzad. Thank you very much on the bits. Appreciate that. Remember the time that you brought Dragon to Stormwind and destroyed the whole city when everyone was all to 40, trying to take the dragon to Horde City? I remember. By the way, is that griefing? I mean, maybe. If we did it for like hours, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Blizzard would suspend me for that. Yeah, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's see, getting back in a while and trying to call Tyrants, but I feel like it's taking a long time. Is there a good way to get rap after you complete the world quest, or is it just a daily game? It's a daily game, Anonymous. Thanks for the $2. I really appreciate that, man. I've been depressed for a few months, but your streamer McConnell shenanigans keep me smiling whenever times get rough. Much love to the best streamer out there. Well, thank you very much, Robert. I appreciate the 10. Thank you, dude. Okay, what? Nice and Richie gifted 50 subs? Holy shit. Thank you so much, man. I fucking appreciate that. Thank you, dude. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, thank you very much, man. It's good. No, well, yeah, I mean, obviously I can be reasonable and talk with people, right? I mean, like, usually, I think everybody usually expects for me to be just like this raging, you know, gigantic asshole or whatever. But, you know, if somebody wants to engage me and be reasonable, I can sit down and talk with them and be reasonable back. I just generally, like, if people are obnoxious, I'll be obnoxious and vice versa, right? If they're respectful and nice, I'll do the same thing. It's always the way things go. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'll go ahead and I'll read the rest of these, and you can argue with people playing EA games. Like, oh, and I want to go ahead and go even further with this. I think that anybody on Twitch that advertises content for, like, a boosting website, I think that Twitch should permanently ban them, and Blizzard should permanently ban all of their accounts. I forgot to mention that. Like, yes, I think that they should just complete, like, Blazing Boost or any of that stuff. I think they should be just completely, permanently banned, with no exception. Right? I don't think they should go back and ban people that did this wrong like 5 years ago or whatever. I really don't like that idea of like punishing people for new rules and going back in the future, in the past. But nowadays, yeah, I think they absolutely should ban them. Ban for yeah, 100% banned. Okay, we'll get the rest of this video. Sorry about that, guys. Let's keep separation of powers here, man. Well, I mean, they're harming both things, right? I think Blizzard should ban them. I mean, there are unique reasons why Blizzard should ban them. Blizzard, you really think that Blizzard shouldn't ban somebody that's using something as a tool to advertise a service to tarming their game? Of course they should ban them.
Say, if a deal's too good to be true, then it probably is too good to be true.
Legitimate.
And in this case, while you might not be explicitly getting fucked over, you are indirectly fucking over other people. Honestly, fuck them. Fuck G2A. I can't say that enough. And by all means, let as many people know as possible just how shady G2A is, just how harmful, detrimental it is to the industry, how financially damaging it can be to smaller studios, to independently developed games. In essence, this video was just an excuse for me to say G2A is rubbish, to say it's the drizzling shits, to say fuck G2A.
Accurate.
But really, that's as good a reason to do a video as any, because fuck G2A. It's poison, and the game industry would be better off if it curled up and died.
There it is, dude. There it is. The problem with G2A, and the reason why people buy things from G2A, is because it's cheap. The average consumer does not care about the ethics and the footprint that they leave on the industry whenever they buy something and it's contraband or illegally obtained. They don't care. You know how I know they don't care? Because people buy tennis shoes all the times that are made by basically child labor slaves in third world countries, and they're doing that today. Meanwhile, they're talking about how bad it is that somebody in the media said a word that's slightly offensive to them, but they're wearing sneakers that were made by slaves in third world countries. And oh wait, they're not slaves, but they're basically trapped in different types of, and look this up, there are different like factories in these other countries that have nets on the stairways so people can't jump down and commit suicide. It's disgusting. So, like, I mean, the fact is that, yeah, this is very, very common. And the normal, like, community and the G2A is not a slave. No, I'm talking about people not caring. That's what I'm saying. People are not caring. Factory world and the third world is fucked. Yeah, no suicide, get back to work. Suicide prevention is disgusting. Hello, TOS. Yeah, okay, dude. Let's see it. And with the truth, that's Foxconn in China, iPhone maker. Well, listen, I mean, if the iPhones are going to cost $1,000, you need to have third world slaves making them. That way Tim Cook makes as much money as possible, and so do all the other shareholders and investors. Because the only thing that a business does is make money. And anything that a business does to make money is fundamentally good, because that's why businesses exist, right? Tim Apple? Yeah, sorry, Tim Apple. So all Apple pros, they love slavery? Well, they like it so much that they actually had to come out with something that said if they find out that somebody was, you know, illegally, what was it, like hired, that they give them like a free education or something. Because it happened so often that they had to turn around and do some sort of PR bullshit to make it seem like they weren't using child labor the whole time. I bought some Steam Euro cards for less than their standard value. I spent $28 on $40 Euro Steam cards from G2A. Well, yeah, I mean, and do you care about the developers? No. No, fuck them.